Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Oh.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a poo rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, Clairs don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting hers up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. Mae West once said, "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." Today, it's Claire and we are discussing the topic of YOLO. You only live once. I probably will not use that phrase after today's episode. Enjoy.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking into the mics anyways. We were talking like we were recording.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for you to press the button at any moment.
Yeah, it was going to happen. I was actually in a short film called A Bullet in the Brain.
And what was it about?
It was based on a Tobias Wolff short story, and it was by director David Von Enken, and it was about an English professor who's a little arrogant, and he gets caught in a bank robbery, and he gets shot for mouthing off, and everything that flashes in his brain before he dies. And I was bank robber number 2.
Fun.
Yeah. We were just talking about getting shot in the brain. I don't know where it came from.
And not dying.
And we were hoping that the bullet would maybe take off the part of our brain that makes us self-conscious or sad. That would be all right.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in getting shot in the brain and living with a bullet in my head. Or
No.
more brain damage than I already have.
Or making it harder to think than it already is.
Yeah. I don't need a bullet in my head to have problems.
No. Or to be cloudy.
Yeah.
Or not think straight, let alone having something rattle. I don't like something that rattles around in the back of my car, let alone in my brain.
Yeah.
That would haunt me all the time.
There's probably something about your brain that makes the rattling in the back of your car really bother you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny that I think my head is so empty that the bullet would just rattle around and it wouldn't just be lodged in my brain.
It really, I was just thinking about this recently. I've seen these cat videos on Instagram of these cats fitting into small places. And I'm like, wow,
Yep.
that's really amazing. Except how is it possible that a full-size cat can fit into a really small space, way smaller than its entire body, and get through it? I'm like, what is it about the cat's
Spine?
something?
Their
And
bones?
what happens to its organs? They accordion.
They're squishy. I guess they're squishy.
And how do they go back to normal? I don't understand.
I don't know the magic of cats. I do know that rats can do that. They can put a little hole in something and get their whole body through. And
Which is the same concept.
Yeah, I
what
guess
the
so.
fuck?
Yeah. So interesting that we're talking about having bullets in the brain and almost death, because our topic today comes from one Miss Claire Kenny, is YOLO.
You only live once.
You only live once, which I replied to that, "Oh, you mean like Carpe Diem?" And you said,
No.
I was like, what? What? Isn't that the same? Seize the day and you only live once? Meaning you're just going for it because you only have one chance and don't hold back. And you said no.
No.
But before we get into the differences, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
should we just go to the definition?
Yeah.
Get it out there. YOLO stands for You Only Live Once. It is a popular slang phrase that encourages people to seize the moment, take risks, and enjoy life to the fullest because you have only one life to live. In addition, it is common usage in everyday language. YOLO is also the name of a popular real-time object detector system in the field of computer vision. Yeah, we're not going to do that one. Forget that.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. We don't need the technology, YOLO, because we will offer nothing to that. Okay, so the first one. And then maybe the definition of carpe diem. Okay. Carpe diem is a Latin phrase that translates to seize the day. It's seize the day in English. God, reading. It is a call to make the most of the present moment, to live life fully and without hesitation, rather than procrastinating and waiting for the future. The Fraser crane. The phrase encourages people to take advantage of current opportunities and to appreciate the present. You want the origin? The origin of the phrase comes from the poem by the Roman poet Horace, Odes, Book 1, Poem 11, where he advises embracing the day and not trusting too much in the future. Interesting.
Two very different definitions.
Yes, but, I mean, similar at the core?
I mean...
Take me down your road. Take me down why that original thought when I'm like, hey, I love, the Dead Poet Society. It like formed my childhood. I get it. Carpe diem. And you're like, no.
So I think I feel a little different about it today than I did a couple days ago. Maybe I feel different today in general.
Yes.
I'm a little tired and I'm having a weird reaction to something and I'm not sure what it is. So I'm
So let's just put a disclaimer out there. Comments today made by Claire Kenny could have to do with the state of her mind and not the real Claire Kenny that we know.
Correct. But I think one of my first or second thoughts about Carpe Diem versus YOLO is that Carpe Diem came first. It was a Latin phrase, and YOLO is rather new. And I feel like it's been created by modern day
people,
acronym people.
Yeah.
The younger generation, as a way of like, you know what? Just do that stupid thing because YOLO. And
okay, so I see. Like you're almost associating it to being not just silly, but like not self-conscious about. It's a little doing things.
Yeah, it's a little careless. Like to me,
careless, right?
Carpe diem is.
I'm starting to be on your side now.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, carpe diem is grander, almost, right?
Yeah. And it's a little. Well, it's not more like a one day at a time thing, but I do believe that carpe diem is. First of all, nobody says it anymore, which is unfortunate. Although I do have a necklace that has it on it. And there was like a whole line of jewelry that said Carpe Diem, which people found to be kind of like a spiritual and profound phrase.
Yeah.
Whether they were traveling or they... To me, it's a bit more in the moment rather than...
YOLO.
Yeah. Like YOLO is okay. So and YOLO came to mind when you were discussing in our group chat about the decision of whether or not to make one big trip or two trips recently. And I was like, well, you know what? You only live once, so why not do both? And I almost said that, but then I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe I thought it's a little rude to like even put my opinion out there when I have no idea like what your situation is, like what I'm talking about,
Well, yeah, I get that self-consciousness, but I think when you have a group chat that speaks almost every day, I feel like your opinion will carry weight.
Okay.
I feel like you can say what you want. If we were talking just once a week, then maybe not.
Yeah, good thing we don't do that. So
no, I
yeah, like you only live once. Like, yes, plan this trip or something. But
Be a little reckless. Be a little adventurous.
Yeah, like
take a risk.
Maybe be a little less careful than you normally would because you only live once.
Right.
Carpe diem is like, I'm trying to think of like seize the day, seize the moment. Take maybe if you have like a big presentation that day, or there's something that day like that's in a little bit more of the immediate future that you're afraid of. Take the experience, take the day, and take the moment and make it yours.
I also think, and I had a thought that's kind of like running away from me, so I hope I can gather it as I'm stalling by talking. But Carpe Diem is about taking advantage. It seems like what you're saying is about taking advantage of what's in front of you and not having fear. Whereas YOLO is like, oh, come on, take a risk. It may pay off, it may not. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reckless. Whereas Carpe Diem, I think what you're saying is when opportunity is placed in front of you, it's important for you to grab it and not be afraid to take on that adventure or whatever's in front of you. You wouldn't say like, oh, just take both trips. Carpe Diem, seize the day.
Yeah.
So I get it. I didn't at first. I was very much like, what are you talking about?
They're
both like, do the thing.
They are both. They have similar mantras.
Yes.
But they are both very different. Yes. Are they related? Yes. They could be in the same family, but they could be, different parents.
That's true.
They could be cousins.
I think, though, ultimately what we're saying, though, is like Carpe Diem when that's appropriate and YOLO when that's appropriate. So do both.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shy away from both.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like you're going to New Zealand because YOLO.
Yeah.
And you wake up in the morning and you think, well, I could go skydiving today, but I'm too scared. But Carpe Diem.
See, I think you put it beautifully. Did you go skydiving?
No.
Do I know this? No. Okay. I do think by the end of this podcast, I will never want to say YOLO again. You only live once is fine as a phrase, but I don't think I'm going to want to say YOLO.
Oh, I say it all the time.
But I think Carpe Diem will stay with me.
That's good.
It has obviously stayed with me since
it's
1989 when I first heard the phrase.
That's when you first heard the phrase?
Yeah, because it has to be Dead Poet Society, like I said before. Absolutely, Dead Poet Society was the first time.
Born.
Is it? Can I see if I was right about the movie being on then?
You're probably right.
I am.
The professor that movie was based on,
yes,
was one of my college professors at UConn.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like very famous. He taught our class was American nature writing, and it was an 8 a.m. class, and it was hilarious.
Seize the day.
I didn't go that often though, because it was too early.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
It does feel like a Connecticut boarding school. Where did they go? Prestigious New England boys boarding school. I can't remember the name of it. 1989 though.
Yeah.
I think that and Jurassic Park are the two movies that I'll always get right in terms of the year they came out. But I do like that guessing game.
Is that the movie where they all stood on their chairs? And
Captain, something? My Captain.
Okay, because now I'm getting that mixed up with an SNL skit.
Yes, no, it's based on it.
And one of the kids got chopped.
Pete Davidson.
Got his head chopped off.
Yeah, it's a great sketch.
I almost just said, isn't that the scene where the kid's head got chopped off?
Yes, he stands up and the fan chops his head off, and then blood sprays over everybody. Well, I don't know, Mr. whatever his name. They had a great name for it. It's a really like great sketch. It's a pre-taped sketch, but it's Fred Armisen as the teacher, and Bobby Moynihan is the old professor saying, "Get out of here!" And all the kids are standing on the desks, and then they all get sprayed with blood and scream, and it's beautiful.
It's so
beautiful.
That's so funny.
I thought you were going to say, no, I always get it confused with Mr. Holland's Opus. Which is another teacher movie.
No. Yeah, no, I took like 4 years of Latin, so I learned about Carpe Diem like way before.
Before
I
you
saw
saw
the
this
movie.
movie. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It makes sense.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean I think we covered it. We did 15 minutes, and
That's been 15 minutes.
yes.
Oh my
yes.
god. Feels
Well-
like 20 at least.
How about we'll do the welcome? We did the whole episode already. And welcome to the Last Will podcast. Today it's just me and Claire, and we're here to talk about YOLO and Carpe Diem and the differences. And if you rewind the last 15 minutes, I think we solved. We got to world peace and feeding the hungry, and we solved all of the
Yeah.
world's problems by doing this.
As long as you subscribe to the podcast and make regular donations.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Is there a place to make donations? I should probably do that.
There should be.
I don't know. Every time I ask, I'm like, hey, could you like subscribe? And I don't think we have.
You
Like
ask
people
people to subscribe?
At the very end, like,
Oh, you
you-
should just tell them to.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. If you ask, they're not going to.
That's true. That's
Be
true.
nice about it.
We get listens, but we don't get subscribers.
I don't even know if I'm subscribed. I
Claire.
don't know if I know how to do it, actually.
Claire.
Sometimes things are just complicated. In case in point, I think that I know how to like do things on the computer, but the last couple of times I tried to set up like an auto pay on a bill or hook up like get one of my last phone bill to like have deposits taken from my bank account instead of my credit card.
Right.
Like there was a malfunction at that point. Like I did the thing and then I'm like, okay, I did it. And then a month later it didn't happen. So like, I'm like, why was that so hard? They shouldn't make it that hard.
No.
Some things are hard.
I get it. Is that a YOLO or a Carpe Diem?
I'm just complaining.
Oh, okay. No, I get that. With my
I don't
car,
know the Latin phrase for that
with
one.
my car payment, if it doesn't process on the date and I don't see it in my bank account or I don't get the thing that says, oh, you paid the thing, I'm like, wait, it's set up. It's supposed to do the thing. Are you going to charge me extra? And it always takes care of itself,
Yeah.
but it puts me through worry every time.
I know, because like, what if something happened?
I know.
And then like maybe it was a simple mistake, but then you have to call them. That takes forever.
And yeah, you can't call. That's crazy. Did you, in your new place, do you have a landline? Did you get a landline or you know?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I was going to say, does anybody do that anymore? It was
even-
like the first thing you used to do.
Didn't
Cable
even
and
cross
phone.
my mind.
There's just no need for it. How is the cell service?
It's fine.
Okay.
Haven't had problems.
And when I first got here, I had a few problems. Like there's certain spaces that aren't as great as others.
In your apartment?
In my apartment. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I mean, YOLO, Matt.
That's true. You only live once. Let's move to another place where I can have an animal. It would be nice. I'd like to get a dog.
Yeah. Well, I think that like,
YOLO.
as far as YOLO, because that's what I was thinking at first. Like there are so many things that let's say, with the animal thing, right? Like I could have a pet at my place, but and maybe some person might say, well, Claire, YOLO. But there are so many like logistical obstacles preventing me from getting a pet
Yep.
that and also like maybe the emotional aspect and like the practical aspect. I'm not just going to do a YOLO thing because
Just to YOLO?
Just to YOLO.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be irresponsible.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. But I get the sentiment when it says, look, I always think about this because I've lived here for a while now, and I had a dog before I moved here, and I left the dog with my mother because I had to. I was new, and he was, kind of given to me, but like the family pet, and so I still have visitation rights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this old movie, and it's called The Kid. Disney's The Kid. I don't know if I've talked about this, but it stars Bruce Willis, and it basically is like Bruce Willis is like squeaky Mike. Bruce Willis is like a kind of. It's not a Christmas movie, is it? I don't think so. It's kind of like a Scroogey business guy and doesn't have any friends and doesn't have a wife and all this, and then a kid version of himself shows up on his doorstep, and he has to deal with him as a kid until he solves this problem, and then the kid will disappear and he'll have learned something about himself. It's a very cute movie. The kid comes, and when they figure out that it is him in kid form, the kid's like, "Oh, so you're married and stuff," and he's like, "No," and he's like, "Well, you have a dog though, at least, right?" And he's like, "No, I don't have a dog. That would be disgusting." He's like, "You don't have a dog?" And he's like, "Oh, my life is awful. You don't even have a dog?" And this voice sits in my head all the time where I'm like, I'm an adult and I don't even have a dog. I don't even have a dog. And so.
But you have children.
Yes, but they don't fetch.
No. I don't know. I think that.
Have you seen them? How do you know that? How do you even know that I have children? Have you seen them?
I did. I just saw one of them.
You just saw one. Okay. I was going to say because they hide all the time.
Oh, God.
This is for you. We wouldn't be making this if it wasn't for you.
That's very true.
Kids, stop hiding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. Well, because I often feel like people get pets before they have children, so they like can take responsibility of
Practice.
another being, like practice.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah, you've had pets before.
Well, most of my life. Flanders. Flanders was the last one.
I think when Potter goes to college, you'll get a dog. I'm sorry, I don't know if I was supposed to say his name.
It's all right. Maybe, but like right now, it would be nice to have a dog because they can walk him. Like I put them to work.
They won't. No,
if I say do it, they take their garbage out when I say.
Really?
Yeah. There's recycling there. Potter knows it's got.
Well, I just think like animals. I mean, I'm a cat person, so
and they are too. They have 2 cats at their mom's place.
Cats are really low maintenance sometimes.
Except when they get sick. When they get sick, they can be like.
Oh no, I know it's terrible.
Yeah.
But like my mom, our kitty at my house, at my mom's house is he actually does have medical needs, and she's there to monitor them all the time. If it were me, I wouldn't be there to be able to monitor the cat because I'm not there most of the time. And for me, I don't think it's healthy for me to actually be alone in my house by myself all the time because that's really isolating.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly in and out. And if I'm in and out, I shouldn't, like, the pet will just never see me, and that's not a relationship for us or a good life for the cat.
Where, like, you could be like me and you could just go and visit the animals.
Right.
At the
and
at
that's
the rents.
what I do to my pets, cats.
So the ultimate point is don't YOLO just a YOLO. You know?
Don't be an irresponsible YOLOer.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awful. When was the last time that you felt you embraced you only live once and did something?
Wow. I don't know.
Probably should have thought about this before we started that, because I'm thinking for myself, when was the last time that I Carpe Diem'd or I YOLO'd for myself?
Well, I recently had, this is like a bummer story, and I'm going to try to say what I mean to say without saying what it is.
Okay. Can I guess or no? Toothpicks?
No, it's a little more, it's a little different.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm afraid of who's listening. Okay, so here's what I'll say. I had the idea of how to progress in my career.
Yes. And
the idea dawned on me, and I was like, I like this idea. I think I'm going to do it. And there was a little bit of YOLO. Maybe Carpe Diem.
Right.
Because it felt like it was a thought that maybe excited me and scared me a little bit. But I was like, the fears behind it were not enough to not do it, right? Like, they weren't healthy fears, they were unhealthy fears. They were like, okay, just do it. Like, burst through the lack of confidence, burst through the lack of self-esteem, all that. And I had the momentum. And then I kept missing my windows of opportunity to, like, it was something that I had to like work on privately to then present to my what are the people above you?
Your bosses?
Yeah.
Supervisors?
Yeah, I was going to say what's the opposite of subordinate?
Subordinate? No, we knew that was going to be No, I think it's like
Ordinate?
I think it's
No.
I think it's like a supervisor, right?
Superiors.
Yeah.
I guess.
Your superiors.
I hate that word, but in this situation, I guess. But anyway, I had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't still have that opportunity, but I sat on it too long, and now I've
Talked yourself out of it.
Yeah, hopefully I'll revisit it, but it felt like with all the support that I was getting from like my therapist and the important people in my life, like they were like, yes, Claire, this is a great idea. You should definitely be doing this.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, great. And then I'd like get excited, and then I would think about it, and then I would then like lose steam. I just lost steam.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons I can't explain and I won't get into. But like now I feel like I went from 100 to 0.
So you kind of
I anti-YOLO'd.
Yeah.
But
probably anti-Carpe Diem, because you were there was something in front of you that you had an opportunity to embrace, and you didn't seize the day.
I didn't seize it.
No, you watched it walk away.
Yeah.
But I will say you did YOLO or Carpe Diemed. We're making it a verb. When you just moved. I mean, that was a huge one.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
It's interesting because felt like a necessity. And yeah, there's a bit of YOLO behind that.
Yeah.
Because
you could have took the easier route and just stayed put and maybe been miserable or whatever, but
well, but that's the thing, is that there was a lack of ease with my situation at the time. Like I was feeling like things were feeling a little difficult in the living at home department. And although the moving was a huge effort, it was like the thing that made the most sense. And yeah, and so I guess I think of YOLO more than Carpe Diem, because I think of the concept of, if I only have this one life.
Yeah. It's longer term as well.
Yeah.
YOLO.
You know, what am I doing spending these years as a single woman with like no real major responsibilities, no children? You know, why am I not choosing to like be in a better environment that's and cultivating something different and better for myself?
Yeah. No, I think that's a big YOLO. You know, well
it's like
done.
A healthy YOLO.
Yeah, as they should be. I mean, look, I'm in my head going back and forth and like, oh, this is supposed to be an episode about this idea of you only live once, and we're measuring the risk back and forth of whether you should do these things. But I do think that there is, you only live once, let's run across the highway is not a good use of you only live once, or
although
Carpe
that would,
Diem.
to me, that would be a Carpe Diem.
Yeah, but either way, it's not a good use of that.
Right.
You know, in acting school, we used to talk about the idea of breaking norms, you know, in order to discover things. But in terms of breaking norms, you were never supposed to put yourself in an unhealthy situation like running across the highway. That's not, because people don't do that. So it's breaking a norm to run. No, that's like putting yourself at physical risk and harm.
But what if nobody's on the highway? There are no cars.
Well, I did one time with Rachel's ex. We had taken mushrooms, and we went onto the Merritt Parkway in a snowstorm and stopped the car and made snow angels on the Merritt Parkway.
In like the road? Not like the side of the road?
No,
like,
not the side of the road, in the road.
Okay. That's fine. That sounds...
But it was a snowstorm, and obviously no one was on the road. I think we were going out to get like one last pack of cigarettes before all the mushrooms started to hit.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
I love that. That to me is a YOLO.
Yeah, so
It's a
we
little
did
less
that.
Carpe
Kids.
Diem.
I actually don't worry about my kids. Well, at some day the dam will burst. But right now they're just like, caffeine is bad for you. So I can't imagine they ever want to do drugs at this point. It's good to know the parents were experimental. Although I don't think their mom did acid or anything like that.
Well, I think drugs were a little safer back then than they are today.
You think so?
I think.
Yeah, probably.
Well, today there's like deadly chemicals that can just get mixed into like anything and kill you.
And they have all of these opioids that are highly addictive, and
Yeah.
you never want to get off them.
Or I mean, there's either like the ones that can kill you, or like you get the regulated kind.
Right.
But I don't know who's making regulated mushrooms today.
So, a question that if any of our listeners have, you pass that information along to us. Last Will podcast on Instagram. You could just DM us. So this trip that I was thinking about taking, you think you only live once?
Well, now because again,
And I have gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm still not sure what I want to do.
oh, okay. Well, because you have to be a responsible YOLOer, right?
Right.
Like you can't just do so many things because of YOLO. If your budget doesn't allow for it, let's say.
Right. YOLOing is an expensive hobby.
Exactly. But I think that, well, you know the situation better than I do. But my thought was obviously do both. But now it's starting to seem clear that maybe one is more important for you to go on than the other.
Look, I think they're possibly once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, but the first opportunity is really like a once-in-a-lifetime because of the situation and circumstances around
Whose
it.
lifetime, yours or your son's?
Well, my son is going to get it either way.
Right.
You know, he's going to get a once-in-a-lifetime by taking this trip. It's like, should I go witness it? Should I go, not like get in the way of it, but should I go experience part of it with him, or do I just let him go and fly by himself independently and not make it about me, or us? So that's really where it is, and then plan something for when he graduates that we do this big trip with his cousin and all of this, which really makes a lot of sense. But this other thing that's happening this summer is hard to let go of.
Now, are you making it about you?
I mean, there's definitely a huge percentage of it that has to be about my wanting to witness him experiencing this and supporting him. That feeds me, I think, for sure.
Yes.
But I don't think it's totally just about me, and maybe I'm being naive about it, but I don't think it's totally just about me.
I guess, if you put it into the perspective, like the second trip for sure, like it's those kids, the post-grad trip, you should be there for that for them.
Right.
That's you're taking them on that trip. You're experiencing it with them, and that's awesome.
But when we go to France, we're definitely going to go to Normandy because I want to go to Normandy before Paris.
You're paying for it. Who cares?
We'll see. Maybe I'm going to try to get a grant.
I'm thinking of the trips. Like my sister went on a lot of trips in school abroad, and they were not the same as the one that your son is doing, but like they were like, oh, we get to go to Ireland for a week and go on a King Arthur exploration adventure, or we're going to study like this in Paris for a week. My sister got to go on those trips. My parents didn't go with them.
Right.
And I think it was a really important thing for her to have experience how to travel abroad young and be away. I agree 100%. I part of me, the part of me that's at ease with not going is like, I know how valuable the independence of this trip will be and his experience. Like I get that, I totally get that, and I know that's a huge value to what's going on. But he's like performing, Like his written work is getting performed. And so I feel like there's more of
it's not just like they're going to visit castles or something like that.
Is there a way for you to go that's like less expensive?
Yeah, I mean, I could go for a short time, and I think that's what I'm pondering right now. Like, it was going to be my niece and I, we were going to go and maybe go a little bit here and a little bit there and make it like a nice trip. But I think maybe if I can just make it a small little thing, maybe just me and not take my niece.
I'm just imagining you going like incognito.
Oh, could I get a disguise? What kind of disguise?
Oh, just like sunglasses.
It's so hot for a trench. Just sunglasses?
Yeah, not a trench coat.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
sunglasses and a hat. But like sunglasses you would never wear. Oh, maybe like a safari hat.
Okay.
I mean, definitely it's gonna be hot, so you'll wear like shorts and a t-shirt.
A big beard and mustache, or just like a big mustache?
Oh, you could dye your facial hair.
Okay. Well, I was going to just put one over it, like a big Gandalf beard.
But it's going to be hot, so.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But like, so wear some type of shirt that like you would never wear.
And just scream from the back, "Bravo, bravo!"
Or not.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to cheer?
You know what you could do is you could like get really close to the front.
Okay. I'd never sit there. That would be a surprise.
Yeah.
Every time we get tickets to the theater or the movie theater, we're always in the back. So he would never expect me to be up front.
Right.
That would be the real
Yeah.
disguise.
I mean, you don't want to throw them off.
No.
But I mean,
definitely
that's YOLO for you.
not. Right. True. I'm trying to think outside of that. When was the last time that I really like seized the day? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can consider this, but like, last weekend I tried to celebrate my friend's birthday and tried to put everything I could into it. Like, you only live once, and birthdays are important to celebrate, and so let's do everything that you're thinking about. That is fun, which is like be playful and be artistic. And
the event where you did like 8 things in one day.
Yeah, well, it wasn't 8, but like it was a lot
Seemed
of
like
a lot of stuff.
A lot more than I would be able to do in a day.
No, you would have been fine. No, we definitely had more stamina than I thought we would. But the whole feeling of it was like you only live once, and it's your birthday, and you should be celebrated. But I don't know if I can give myself credit for that, because I wasn't really doing it. I mean, I was doing it for me because it feels good to do things for people you care about.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of one where I really like, I don't know, pretty risk adverse life I think I'm living these days.
Oh, for sure. And it's interesting that you say that, is because I'm almost a little YOLO averse.
Yeah.
Recently. I feel like there was a time in my life that I was a lot more adventurous and excited and fearless. And now I'm like, I'm done being fearless. Like, I just want to be safe, and I just want to I want to be kind of responsible. And,
Yeah. I know. I totally get that. I don't know that there's a lot of opportunity to do as much. Here's the thing that I have been doing. Especially since I have a new friend. I've just been going out and like engaging in different artistic, like I haven't gone to concerts in a while or seen comedians or whatever. And like last year I decided, I just wanted to see Brett Goldstein. So I just got tickets to go see Brett Goldstein, and then Sally Rose and I went, and then I got tickets to Ben Schwartz. I'm like buying tickets. I got tickets to John Mulaney in August, and like these are things that I wasn't doing before. They're not like YOLO.
mm-hmm.
Oh no, maybe they are YOLO. They're not grand, but like
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I'm not just gonna. I'm seeing tickets for Mumford & Sons, and I'm going, well, I can't really afford those, and I don't want to sit on the side, but like if I can find cheap tickets, then maybe I'll get cheap tickets. Like I'm going to the theater today. Obviously, it's to see a play that I really have wanted to see, because we just did a production of it, and but I would say in the last like 5-6 years, I hadn't been doing any of that stuff. I had been like fine just sitting here and and doing nothing. And now I feel like adventurous. I went and saw an art exhibit with my friend, and went into the city to the what you call it, the Christmas market, and I'm energized to do those things where I don't feel like I had been in a while. So that's a little bit of like not everyday YOLO, but like a mild, like not spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say medium, but mild.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mild YOLO.
Interesting, because I think you and I sort of suffer from mild depression.
Yes, we sit in a place of melancholy for sure.
And as you were talking about these things that you said that you've been making efforts to do, I've been thinking, like, I like doing those things too, but sometimes I'm like, I just don't feel like it right now. And
yeah,
then
very much like that.
And then I'm like, I also try to make sure that every moment I live in is still worth it.
Yeah.
Even the slow days, even I try not to make decisions that I'll regret, or, if I didn't go see this show or I didn't see this thing, that it's like I'll make peace with it.
Yeah.
My manager at my store he goes to see like every Broadway show ever, and he's always talking about, we're always just talking about the next upcoming show and this and that, and he's going to see them, and I haven't seen a quarter of the shows that he's seen.
Right.
And when he comes back from a show that he's seen, he's like, Claire, you have to go see it.
And you're like, yeah, of course. And then you're like, I'm not.
Well, I think to myself, like, what is it about? There's some shows that I'm like, yes, I definitely want to go. And then there's some shows that I'm like, nah, I don't really. Yeah. And I wonder, what is it about those particular things that make me say either yes or no? Because some of it feels worth it and some of it doesn't.
Yeah.
And some of them, like Gypsy, for instance, I was like, that I felt like a really intense need to see that. But like perhaps maybe Smash, not quite feeling an intense need to see.
Well, with the way Ray Ray's been posting, I have to imagine that you want to see Death Becomes Her. No? I only saw one of her put the
posts.
Put the earmuffs on.
No, I only saw one
At least
of her
you got
posts.
a tattoo of it.
No, but she's not the only one that said that.
Yeah.
So I think just because I like with the dust settling for my move, I've also been like, okay, I'm not going to spend as much money on shows right now. So
we got to go on the what is it? Today's Ticks. If you want to be a sponsor, Today's Ticks, we're ready for you.
Yeah, that would be
because Tim he just swears by it. He goes. I think he saw Sunset Boulevard twice because of it. We're going today to the theater through Today's Ticks. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had to cut back a little bit on my New York YOLO adventures because of money.
Yeah.
I just needed the dust to settle in my wallet for a little bit. I need money to come back into my wallet before I can go back.
It needs the paddles.
The wallet's a little bit like stop YOLOing.
But I think also like I have a tendency to YOLO in support of people I care about. So like, because of my friend, it's easier to go. Like, I want to share this with you. We went to see The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, with the symphony in front of it, because like that became an idea for your birthday. And so without a doubt, it was easy for me to go, I'm getting these tickets. And I mean, we had those tickets for a long time. So I find it easier to do it when I'm not the center of it. Like I'll be much more adventurous that way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just a selfless person.
It's interesting because
he declares.
I do find the gift giving to others so satisfying, in such a weird way, that I can't quite like put my finger on. Like, why does that fill a void in me?
I think for us, definitely, as we go on this tangent, it's the way that we hope somebody would treat us. And maybe if we model that behavior.
Well, I don't know. There's something about the self-satisfaction of giving someone I know they're going to like.
Yes. There's no doubt.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I did something, like bringing somebody else joy brought me
Joy. For sure. Your 30 days of gifts was like a slot machine. Each time you pull the lever and
you won every time.
I did win a lot.
Wow.
I did win a lot. No, but like the anticipation of, is she going to like this? Does this make sense? Will this surprise her? I mean, I guess when you're giving 30 gifts, they all don't have to hit home runs. They have to sometimes hit different criteria, which is, oh, I didn't know that this existed. Oh, this is a surprise. And then of course there's the, oh, this is just a great gift for this person. So there's a lot of ways to win in a game when you go with quantity, for sure. But yeah, I just like it. But also, okay, so we were celebrating my friend's birthday, and she's not used to getting gifts. Maybe that's not the right phrase. Not used to feeling celebrated like that. So gifts on her birthday, but also I had gifts for her that weekend, and so I think it was a little overwhelming for her, and felt like it was too much. So I made a promise that next time it won't be as much. I had to like exercise my demons of, and trying to shift the way that she saw how she was experiencing her birthday. And
it can be overwhelming to some people who like don't like, and having gifts given to somebody can be overwhelming to them for whatever their own psychology is. Because we've spent so much time together and we've talked about this, you and I both made the connection that we love giving and receiving gifts.
Yeah, so it's different.
And so we know that about each other. And I've been very unhinged in my responses to why. But I don't say that to everybody.
Right.
And maybe let's say as an example, like if I were dating somebody, I might not even tell them that at first.
Right.
Which is actually interesting. Like now that I had this thought, because when you're dating somebody like that, I just always feel like the stakes are a lot higher in a relationship, even though they kind of shouldn't be. Like you really should be presenting like your true authentic self to this person. Because
yeah. What's nice is my true authentic self though is a gift giver.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel any pressure or what, I just did what I thought was right, what made sense. Like, so I felt in the end, I felt like my authentic self. But again, feelings can be overwhelming, when someone has been, trained is not the right word, but it has a lifetime of experience of it not being thoughtful gifts or being overwhelmed with gifts. I guess not overwhelmed is what feeling of overwhelmed, but not like you're piling 20 gifts on someone.
Yeah.
But anyway, just for the record, your birthday gift is in the closet.
Don't tell me that. I'm
Why?
gonna look for it next time.
No, it's not. It's not easy to open that closet because all the shoes are there. It just doesn't open smooth. But by the time you started to open it and got it even a little opened, you wouldn't even be able to find it in there. But I would be able to stop you. I have confidence because that closet's just not. It's not easy to get into.
I wouldn't be able to open it
and
easily before you found out that
yes.
I was trying to open it.
Yeah. And it's just fun to get Grady gifts because he's like, I don't want gifts. And so I just continue to get him gifts because that's, first of all, funny to me. And also, like, sometimes things just happen. They appear, and you're like, well, that's perfect for somebody. And because Grady doesn't like gifts on his birthday, although I did get him a gift on his birthday, I'll get him gifts on everybody's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So he will get a gift on your birthday.
And I'm still
because
okay. And I'm still a little unclear as to when Grady's birthday is.
It's
like one
the
or
same. I think it's the same day as yours,
but a different month.
Different month.
Okay, but you keep saying you think.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Stars like Grady don't just get born on one day; they evolve from the cosmic dust. No, but I think it's the month. I think he's almost exactly a month after you.
Before I thought it was before me.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No. Yeah. Oh, so I don't know. Did we cover it?
Did we?
I mean,
is
I
it
think
time?
we're around the time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe a couple days ago I had a lot of other things to say, but I can't think of them right now. But honestly, when I think of the word YOLO, I think of like mountains because I think of things.
Adventures.
I think of adventures.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you really changed my mind about it because I was walking in here going like, they're the same fucking thing. I don't understand the difference, but there's subtlety to it, you know. Carpe Diem is about something immediate in your life and grabbing an opportunity that's in front of you. You only live once. See, I've already stopped saying YOLO. You only live once is I was going to say more philosophical, but it's not. It's grander. It's about embracing risk. It's about discovery and not holding yourself back and not being scared. I guess they're both about being scared. I don't know. Go back to the first 15 minutes of the podcast where we really solved the problem before we started talking about how wonderful we are at gift giving. Listen to us talk.
Well, I think both phrases have to do with the cultural etymology was different at the time. You know, like Carpe Diem versus like think about the primitive culture at the time and what they were coming up with this phrase then.
Back in 1989.
Back in Vesuvius times.
I don't think of Vesuvius times. I just say it just lives back in 1989 to me.
Oh. And YOLO, I think last 10 years?
For sure.
Because people are more reckless now.
You think that's what it is?
Oh, yeah. Well, there are 100,000 more ways to be reckless and safe today.
Yeah. So we're saying YOLO responsibly.
Mm-hmm. And Carpe Diem to its fullest.
I don't know that we're going to get any better than that. Well, you made a face. What'd you make a face for?
I don't know if it made sense.
I think it did.
Oh, okay.
Like it touched me. I was like, we shouldn't talk at all. And then I started to talk. So be responsible YOLOers, which seems very anti-YOLO. And what did you say?
Carpe Diem responsibly.
No, that was the first. Oh, we blew it.
I said.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No? To its fullest is what you said.
Carpe Diem to its fullest and YOLO responsibly. That's what it was?
Yes, but in 5 minutes we may change our mind. So here's the truth. Don't listen to a word we fucking said. Don't listen to any of it.
Just stop listening now.
Yes, I think that's the end. Bye.
Bye.
Well, wasn't that a silly episode? I hope you enjoyed it. We definitely had a good time, a lot of laughs, and I think I grew a little bit because I didn't think there was a difference between YOLO and Carpe Diem, but there is. Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe. All those things are helpful. We can be reached at the Last Will podcast on Instagram. So till next time, onward, forward.